Hello and welcome to the third episode of the podcast from SDP Uusimaa. I'm your host, Mikhail Borodin, and today we'll be diving into the topic of becoming a politician in Finland. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Nasima Razmyar, a great inspiration for all immigrants in Finland and my personal inspiration to join SDP. Nasima is the first vice chair of Social Democratic Party, a member of parliament, and the current councilor and former vice deputy mayor of Helsinki. Our second guest is Tony Khalil, the current councilor and a candidate in the next municipality elections in Siuntio. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the DE podcast, Nasima and Tony. Could you please tell us a little bit about your background and what motivated you to pursue a political career?
Who would like to start?
So you can
start. Thank you.
Ladies first.
Well, first of all, thank you. It's a great honor to be here, and thank you for your inspiration words. It's great to know that we have new candidates also in our list for municipality elections, and I think that today we will talk about a lot of important issues that are very crucial also for immigrants here in Finland. But my personal story, I don't know, it will need probably 45 minutes to describe why I became a politician, but if I make it very short. Of course, when I came to Finland, just to go it very quickly, about 30 years ago with my family, we came as refugees. And I was born in Afghanistan. And of course, the situation in Afghanistan has always been something that has affected on me very much also. When I was a little girl, I thought that, I would go and save my country at that time, Afghan people, women, girls. And then I realized that that will never be possible. Finland is my country. This is my home. I belong here. And I want to do as much as I can in Finnish society. And after some times, of course, I was very interested in not maybe directly in politics, but everything that is happening, in society, also international politics. In my home with my parents, we have always been discussing politics. So I think it has always been with me. But I never thought that I could become an MP here in Finland, actually, because being an immigrant, not having any kind of networks, not family members, not maybe understanding the society and system that well, I thought that if I could ever work in parliaments or be somehow involved in politics, that would be a great achievement from me. But then, of course, a lot of things happen, and maybe the one changing moment was the year that I became a Refugee Woman of the Year, 2010. And after that, I got my voice heard loudly also here in Finland.
Wow, inspirational story. Well, my story is a bit different because I came with my wife. So when I came, we just moved from Dubai to here, and everything was, I think, I would say, a bit easier to integrate in the system and so on. And then I was working for a long time. I still work till now in the social field, so I do a lot of humanitarian work. So when we moved to Siuntio and we bought our house, we started looking at the plans and see what's happening, and realizing that, oh my God, what we have bought, it has been these infrastructure has been planned since 2008, but we bought in 2020, and there's still forests here and so on. So I was like, something needs to be done. And my wife was actually my first supporter, and she's like, you should run for election. I'm like, no, I'm not a politician. I can't do this. And she's like, well, you should try it, you should run. And I was in Siuntio actually for 3 months living there when I put my papers that, okay, I will try it, I will give it a try. And then I was very surprised that I got elected. And my first sign that this is going somewhere is when the students, in the election of the students, my name came, that I would be one of the elected members. I was like, okay, so
It must be quite serious.
somebody sees something here. And I ran and I won. I got elected, and since then my perspective to this has changed a lot. I have learned a lot through the years. I've been a council, and I've been in the tarkastuslautakunta, puheenjohtaja, so speaker. So this gave me a lot of perspective about politics, and now I'm running again to still make some difference.
When it's time for parliament?
Not sure. Maybe later.
Maybe later. 2027.
Yep. You can think about it.
And please tell, how has your experience as immigrant in Finland influenced your views on problems like immigration, integration, and multiculturalism?
Well, I can say this very shortly. I also worked in different NGOs before my political career, and I think that has been the most important thing for me as a person, also as a human being, and also as a politician, because at the NGOs you truly see kind of true side of society. I was working at the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and also Monika Naiset-liitto, women's organization that helps immigrant women who has been facing different kind of violence, honor-related violence, girls and women. So for me, that was very important. And there, of course, I saw many phases of immigration, how integration works, and also at the IOM, I was actually at that time also working in Denmark, and I saw how they were deporting Afghan refugees who had everything at that time in Denmark. The children didn't speak Dari that much, but they spoke fluently Danish. And so at that time, of course, the situation in Afghanistan was kind of changing, and everybody thought that people will have future in their own country, and we all, of course, hope that. But seeing how it affected on those families, it was truly heartbreaking. And then, of course, in Monika Naiset-liitto, I saw how difficult sometimes is to integrate yourself to Finnish society, especially when it comes to women and girls. But then, of course, my own life with my own family, I think it has impact very much on both of us, because I saw how difficult it was for my parents to be part of the society. And I always feel very bad, and I think it's a very big loss, because my both parents, they had higher education and they spoke languages. Well, unfortunately not Finnish at that time, but it wasn't enough to be employed and to have a job here in Finland. So I think also from that perspective, I don't want anybody to see the in the reality where my family was living with all the knowledge and all the education that they had, but still was not able to be part of society. And I know that Finland has changed quite a lot in 30 years. We are not facing the same problems, but I don't know how you see, but I think on the other hand, we are still quite dealing with the same problems and same issues that immigrants, especially those who come as refugees, as asylum seekers, they should have better place also in the society.
Yeah.
Not only the qualified peoples that we need also very much for works here in Finland.
Yeah, exactly. We need all kind of people to be here and to do all sort of jobs. When I moved, when I was working abroad, I have been working abroad way before moving to Finland was my wife. So I have been working in places that I didn't even need to search for a job. Like I have been contacted to get a job. And when I moved to Finland, I didn't think that it might be like that difficult. So I stayed at home, and then I was sitting and waiting, and then I was like, okay, I can't sit for long. I want to search for jobs. So hundreds of applications that I sent with my CV, I didn't get a reply, and suddenly like the truth started like hitting me, like, oh my God, like everything I have built is just like gone in a way that it's not going to happen. And then I went into the integration process, and then I started noticing the issues, the real issues there, that people they want people to go through integration process quick and away from it. Like even sometimes people don't manage to understand the system when they finish their first year of their schooling and language learning, and that was an eye-opening, that how come are we really fixing this issue by creating a bigger issue for a couple of years forward. Yeah, so basically this gave me a little of perspective on how to do it in my work, how to support people in my work, and the way I do it. Of course, I can't have the influence that the officials have, but we have it from the third sector. So we try and help them solve this problem and getting over these issues.
And I think what my parents told me when I was actually very young, actually a child, my father said that nobody will come and pick you from our home because, kind of, you are an immigrant and you look different. And so you have to do yourself and you have to try even harder. And sometimes it feels very, although you are struggling, you just have to do more. And when I was a child, of course, I felt that, why are you putting all this pressure on me? I'm just a child. But now I kind of realized that, what if I didn't work hard enough? What if I didn't do the double, third, kind of the job that when it comes to school, when it comes to job applications, what you just described is not easy with a foreign name to have a job here in Finland, and with all the discriminations, unfortunately, that we still have in society. I think it's very important that we also talk about this issue. But then, as an immigrant, I also think, and when I'm talking with youth, with immigrant families, and it's so hard to say immigrant families, the families who live here, and the children that has born here in Finland, but you and me, we know that, once you're immigrant, you are kind of immigrant your whole life here. Which I don't like, but this might be sometimes the reality. So what I'm trying to tell also is people that I know it doesn't feel right, but we have to do more. You have to do more because you have to learn the language. You have to seek for the jobs. You have to try to be part of society, because otherwise, life in Finland or anywhere can be really, really difficult if it's only, it's your community, and if you go, like not try to open yourself for society, it's not way to integrate. But we also know that integration is not one side.
Yeah.
It's impossible, if you try, but then on the other side, the doors are more or less closed.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say the same, that what Nasima said here, that we need to do more. It's like it's mostly part of the job, and maybe I have learned to do more while I have been working abroad in different countries, that I have always been the person who's coming to the country. So I needed to understand the culture in different places. I need to understand how the country functions. I need to understand the holidays. Which days are holidays? Are the same holidays that we have in my country are here? Is it the same that we have the weekends as Saturday and Sunday, or it's a Friday, Saturday? So there's always a lot of things that we need to understand and we be part of the society, because we can't change the whole society. And one more point that you said, that higher education, it's a bit like a shame that people study in universities abroad, and when you come to Finland, that your education is mostly not recognizable.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, but I have studied, I have paid for my education, I have done a lot to reach here, but you're like, you feel you're not enough, and then you have to study again. So I think most of the immigrant background people needed to study another
And I
education.
think it's how you come, and this is very important, because if you come as a refugee, as asylum seeker, suddenly your qualification is not maybe good enough.
My qualification was not good enough also.
Yeah, because you come.
Yeah.
And to fix these problems, we basically need to understand what the issues is. So what do you think, what is the key political issues now, what needs more attention in Finland today?
Overall, you mean? Well, I think the polarization is something that we should not accept, because it affects very much also on different communities, different minorities.
Yeah.
And I see this very not only in Finland but in Europe, and what's happening in States at the moment. It's something that will definitely, well, I hope that Europe can be different, but unfortunately I don't see that very well right now, or I'm not very optimistic. So kind of the thing that of course, well, we as the Social Democrats, we are in opposition right now, and we don't agree with the politics that this government is taking forward, cutting from those who have less in this country, and from the social security, from education, from social and health, from people's health. And this is kind of politics and policy that makes the polarization even wider. Because when you are cutting, and this is what some parties are even try to say here in Finland, in Europe, when they are cutting from, regular Finnish people from their social and health care, it's always easy to say that we have to cut because we have the immigrants, we have to take care of them, and they are taking all of our requires so much of the resources that our society has. So of course, this is how you make, your politics, kind of, this is how you bring it to Finnish people, or to, also we have a lot of examples in Europe. So I would say that, of course, the politics that this government, very right government in Finland, is taking forward when it comes to the whole idea of welfare system, of course, what we Social Democrats has been always the core of our politics. And this is something that they want to broke. Everything should be to privatize crucial service for the citizens.
Yeah. Well, my dad used to say, and he says till now, that you can't fix a broken leg with a band-aid, and this is what's happening at the moment. So you feel that the economic or the financials and the country are tight. So basically you start cutting, but basically you're just moving the problem in a time for further. You're not just fixing the problem. You're just like, okay, we're cutting now and we will see what will happen later. And the problems is that
from the public sector.
Yes, yeah. So the problem is that when you move it, you didn't get rid of it. You're just like buying time, and this is I think what we should really do, that we need to fix the problem and not just buy time for it, because it's not going anywhere. And yes, people say, and now of course this government is saying a lot, that the problem is having immigrants here and having them using the public sector funds and so on. But what's the percentage for real? If you check, it's not as big as you think. I think people from Finnish background, if you can say, they are also using the Kela. So the Kela is not only for immigrants.
And if you see, our biggest challenges at the moment is growth. We need to have growth. We need to have, more jobs, more more growth in this country. And then at the same time, the other problem that Finland is facing is aging, and that's if we look other Nordic countries, for example, Sweden. I know that Sweden has its own challenges when it comes to immigration integration, but then with this aging issue, they will face very different future than Finland is having at the moment. And we all know that immigrants, all in all, will solve this problem when it comes to aging population, but also with the growth, because we need skills, we need jobs.
Yeah.
But anyway, things are changing little by little. How do you think Finland's political landscape evolved in terms of inclusion of foreign-born leaders like you,
Yeah.
and new ideas?
Well, I think Finland is definitely not ready yet. And if you look at the parliament, I'm not sure, but I think still I'm the only refugee background MP here in the Finnish parliament. So 2015, when I became as a first refugee background member of the parliament, I think it was great and huge thing. And at that time, it was also Ozan Yanar, a very good friend of mine. He became also MP. And I kind of thought that, this was the moment, we broke the ice. After this, there will be definitely more. But still, in a municipality level, I think it's not that good, but it's better than in the national politics. Of course, the landscape, everybody, we as a politician with our backgrounds, it changed. It changed the landscape. It changed how we discuss about issues. But for me, it was very important when I became MP in 2015 that I'm not only the refugee and immigrant background politician, because if you take that if you take that to yourself, you will always be, and you are always asked about the integration. You are always asked about immigration issues. And I think that for us as a politicians, also as immigrant politicians, we are part of this society. We should talk about education system. We should talk about healthcare system, and not try to go to that direction where you are always seen as an immigrant politician. And for me, it was very important to also work and lead in the city of Helsinki, which is of course the capital of Finland. And there I was a deputy mayor for culture and leisure, for education sector. I think during that 6 years, I was probably asked maybe once or twice matters that were involved with immigration or with my background as a refugee. And I think that was very important.
And Tony, how do you balance your heritage and your personal identity with your responsibilities as a Finnish politician? Yeah.
Well, this is a nice question, because I never forget who I am, and I never forget where I come from. Of course, I try to take the good things that I learned from there, that I have been raised with, and basically reflect them to what I do here. I don't let these two things basically interfere a lot, because I take my role as a politician in the council, as a politician that's working for this specific municipality, not on a wider scope. And basically on the personal life, it's more challenging, to have two Father's Day, the Finnish that you don't remember, and then the Father's Day that you remember yourself, because that's when you send your dad a message, or that is or the Mother's Day that you don't always remember. Now I have to remember because my kids get stuff from school. But it's a bit challenging to differentiate these two. But I think it's just enriches you as a person. It doesn't need to be in any way a negative thing.
Yeah. Okay. In your opinion, what is the role of immigrants in shaping Finland's future? How and why we should be more actively involved in political processes?
Well, I would say, like what Nasima said, that we have a problem. We have a problem in aging. So basically, to solve this problem, there is no other solution than having people who will do the job, who will do the job here. And of course, if we have more politicians from different backgrounds, it will give a safe space that, okay, I will be mostly represent because these people have gone through this experience. We have gone through the integration program, and I'm sure that if you've done it, you have a very different perspective than you have read few papers about it, because you have experienced it, the negatives, the positives, everything. You have done it yourself, and yeah, well basically, if we're not giving this space for new form, for new ideas, we're going to a bad place. And I would give one example, because this has been a lot in the news, that okay, robots and AI and stuff might solve these problems. That's a cute example. That I was walking last week. I was going to the train, and I saw these robots from the supermarket, driving around. So I was like, continue. That was a surprise for me, that first time I encountered them like driving. So I continued, and I saw that the robot started like to switch left and right, because I'm coming in its way. And I was like, okay, I will continue. I know this is out of subject, but it's just like an example. So I was walking, and the robot was driving, and we reached the end of the pedestrian road where there's a step, and the robots got stuck there. It couldn't, because of course it couldn't move left or right. So I stood there 10 minutes. I was watching it. It couldn't fix how to move from the step to move forward. So without people, we can't do anything.
And especially comes with the social and health care. AI technology will change definitely a lot, but we still need human beings. We need people that have hands and minds and feelings. This is something that we need in our services. I totally agree with this, and I think that I kind of also. There was a very good researcher actually in Helsinki, Pasi Saukkonen, that said once that actually the success of society when it comes to integration will be seen how we integrate second generation. First generation is, of course, it's important that they find their places, their place in society, that they are of course, the job and language and everything is important for them. But the second generation is especially important because they have, this is their country. They have born here. They have been very small as a child or as a young when they have arrived to Finland, and they have to feel themselves a Finn. And this is what I'm worrying about. And I come back to the polarization, because I see a lot of young people, now I'm saying again immigrants, but the second generation immigrants who live here, and they still feel that they are not enough for this society. They are not as a Finn, as a Helsinkians, or as a citizens, and I think this is very bad direction for us, and that's why when the young immigrant generation and when the young people see in different places, in different fields, I mean, not in politics only, but as a doctors, as a in the NGOs, as a business leaders, media persons, I think it kind of gives you the hope that I can also become, just as you said. But I think it's very important that we have in different field of society immigrants working, not only in some field of societies that we have at the moment.
Yeah, but what would be your tip, your message to send to young people of a foreign background who is pursuing a political career in Finland?
Well, definitely you have to try, and you belong here. You're part of the society, no matter what some people in X or some social media platforms are saying. You know, this is how they want to shape the society, and this is how we want to shape the society. So you have to be part of it, not on the side that nothing can be done. Of course, everything can be done, and I think you know, when it comes to politics, municipality elections, we want to support young people, and I think there's a lot of voters that wants to see also young generation in our municipalities, also in parliaments. I think Finland, of course, we have, as I said, you know, there is certain things that are not good for us with the racism, with the kind of how to describe this. You know, the society is open, but it's not always that open that we would like it to be. But at the same time, you know, Finland is a great country. There are people who want to support, you know, in your at your school, you know, how the teachers are supporting, you know, how the neighbor can support you, you know, we have great NGOs. And so, you know, just try to be part of it. And even if sometimes it requires to work a bit harder, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I would say basically, well, definitely if you're interested in politics or interested in making a change, or basically as simple as it could be that you're not happy with what your municipality is offering, you should take the chance and you should try. And who knows what happened? Who knows how people will look at you as a person? How people will look at you as a community changer?
Yeah, exactly. And would you like to say something on your mother tongue at the end of this podcast?
This is also always so. Before I say, I have to just tell to our listeners that in my family we speak 3 languages. I don't know how it. Of course, you have also several languages, but my husband speaks Swedish with my kids, and then I speak Finnish with them, and then of course my parents are very much involved in our everyday life, and my parents, especially my mom, speaks Dari with my kids, with my boys, and they fluently speak all these languages, and I think this is a great thing, and this is today's Finland, today's Helsinki, that we have families that are having several languages, and they are mixed. And if you think my children, my boys, if you think your kids, you know, it's a great gift for them. And I've always said to them that, you know, if this is something that you will get from us, you know, just be happy and take all the best of it. So I think it's very important. And Dari bashmo hamishmo میخوایم که در انتخابات شرکت کنین، یا خودتان شرکت کنین یا رای بدین. بخاطر به ما و شما خصوصا افغانا، خارجی ها مهم است که در جامعه بتانیم سهم بگیریم. دوستان عزیز.
Yeah, and of course, as you said, we have also like 2 languages that we use. So I speak with my kids Arabic, and my wife Sana, she speaks with them Finnish. So they are now like duolingual. So and I'd always tell them it's very important that we never forget that my family side. So this is the only way that you communicate with them, because they will never speak Finnish. They will never even learn Finnish. So, and for all the people who speaks Arabic in Finland, ما تراعوا هيدي الفرصة انكم تصوتوا. إذا أنتم مهتمين انكم تترشحوا وتقدموا حالكم تكونوا أشخاص تقدر تغير شيء بالمجتمع الفنلندي، ترشحوا للانتخابات، وإذا مش قادرين تترشحوا صوتوا بالانتخابات. Thank you.
Thank you. And my personal message would be here in Finland, we can do better together. The key is cooperation. Поэтому, да, я хотел бы сказать, что вместе мы можем добиться гораздо большего, чем по отдельности, будучи разрозненными людьми. Давайте работать на будущее Финляндии вместе. Спасибо. Okay, thank you, Nasima and Tony, for your time for this conversation. It is an honor and pleasure to host this conversation. I wish you all the best in your future goals and plans. If you believe in equality, freedom, and solidarity should be the core values of a society and want to play your part in making this happen, you are welcome to join SDP as a member and vote in the upcoming elections for hope and better future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.